Hi there.
Hi.
This Q&A came courtesy of Karen, a teacher we've worked with recently. She was dealing with a particular situation that we were talking to her about, and we asked her if we could use it as a Q&A, and she said she'd be fine for us to do that. So the question she asked us was, how do I deal with somebody who really just doesn't want to be here anymore? It's quite a common problem, actually. And I've certainly had to deal with people like that, and I know you have as well, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. I've been one of those people.
Yeah, so have I, actually, yeah. It's funny because it's an interesting challenge, and we often refer to people like that as being emotionally checked out. So they're still there in body and they're going through the motions, but in terms of their mind and how they feel about it, they've completely left and checked out of the organisation. Actually, we like Blanchard's phrase as well, don't we? Which he talks about they've quit and stayed. So interesting people, and always a good challenge to have.
Well, I wouldn't say good challenge, but there's a challenge we're definitely going to be facing as a leader.
Yeah, good point, yeah. Now, the one thing that we would say, and we said to Karen, is having identified that you've got the issue, the one thing you can't afford to do is then ignore it. Because Karen was saying, well, maybe they'll leave. They never leave. They might have been emotionally checked out, but they stay there in body. So you can't afford to ignore it. You have to do something about it. Otherwise, they'll start to infect the rest of the team. And you end up with what we like to call mood hoovers or energy vampires, which is never going to be good for your team and your morale.
So having said that you can't ignore it, actually, what do you need to do? So in this Q&A, rather than providing you with some hints and tips, we thought we'd share with you some strategies that we believe and some steps we believe that you need to take. And the first one, we guess, won't surprise you very much when we say the first thing that you need to do is you need to observe them in action, and you need to pick them up and give them some feedback about their behaviour. Remember that we never negotiate behaviour. It's a golden rule of leadership.
Yeah, so, I mean, and that's pretty much a constant, whatever.
Yeah.
But all the time they work with you, you have to keep giving them the feedback, don't you?
You can't think, right, no, wait a minute, I'm not going to do that because they'll just leave anyway. Because, as Elizabeth said, they just don't.
No. But the really interesting thing with these people is they probably didn't start off that way. I've not known many people that have said, do you know what, I'm going to hire a mood hoover. Something's happened to them to make them feel the way they feel. Now, it could have been something that's happened historically before you came on the scene, or it could have been something that's happened quite recently. But I think that for us, the next thing you need to do, having given them the feedback, is to really try and understand what it is that's happened. Now, you could go and ask other people, but you're much better off going and asking the person direct.
Ooh.
But that's a risky strategy.
It's hard.
And it's really hard. And actually, just asking them, so what's happened, is unlikely to get the result you're after. So you might need to be a bit more subtle than that. So sit down and have an honest conversation and just ask them something along the lines of, so what's working really well for you? What are you enjoying doing at the moment? And then conversely ask them, so what's frustrating you at the moment? What's hacking you off? Now, typically they might not want to open up straight away, so they might just go, I'm
fine. Everything's okay.
You often get that response. So this is where you need to man up a bit and have a bit of courage and go, no, I'm not going to let it lie at that. I'm going to push them a bit harder. So you could throw in something along the lines of, well, that's not what I'm seeing, or I'm sensing there's some frustration in there, and I want to really understand that.
I guess that I really want to understand that's a really important part of it. Rather than just criticising it, you're now doing what we call a bit of real seek to understand.
Definitely. And you're showing them that you care. And that's one of the biggest things that they need. They need to know that you care. And so just by asking them those questions and trying to get under the surface of what's happened to them, it's a great demonstration that actually you want to do something about it and you're not prepared to let it lie.
So once you have really understood where they're at and what's going on for them, there's two things that sort of happen in our experience. You know, in some cases, regrettably, it's gone on too long and it's too late. And actually the best thing that you can do is to help them to leave. Yeah, and when we say help them to leave, that doesn't mean manage them out and help them walk out of the door, but actually help them to leave the organisation in the best possible state they can. Because it's actually the best thing for them, it's the best thing for the organisation, and it's probably better for you and the rest of the team. Now, in our experience, that doesn't happen in most of the cases. Actually, it's really a case of, right, so what do I need to do, or how can I help them to re-motivate themselves, to find that joy that they once had for the job again? There's a number of things that you can do to do that. You might need to think about, right, so what sort of different tasks do they need to do? Is there some new challenges they might need to consider? You might need to think about, is there somebody that could mentor them or help them and be a bit of a sounding board for them? You actually might find that one of the things that's really frustrating them is I've asked them to do something that they don't know how to do. So funnily enough, you might find that actually a bit of training is what they need. Sometimes, it's just as simple as they just need to spend a bit of time with you. So they actually need to know that you're interested in them as you care about them as an individual.
Yeah, and that can often be the one thing that flips them back to thinking, oh, right, somebody does actually care about me here.
Yeah.
I am valued as a person.
And actually someone cares about how I'm feeling, what's going on with me. So, if you watch some of our other videos, think about some of those really great one-to-one questions that you could be asking them that's really talking about the person rather than about the task and the activities that they're doing.
Yeah. I think the one thing that we would say and what we said to Karen is, having identified it, you just can't afford to ignore it. You're almost compounding the situation by ignoring it. So deal with it, get a bit of courage. Sometimes it'll take courage, and just deal with it, because it will make life for you better, for them better, and for everybody in the team better. So that's what we would say.
So once again, we hope we found that useful. Keep them coming, and speak to you again soon.
Cheers.
Bye.